Alright, in this one we're going to be going over what you should be using your full Legends Limited, I don't know why I said full, Legends Limited Z Power on if you summon on this Limit Break banner, which I do recommend every single player in this game do summon. Now, my first recommendation I'm going to say without looking at any units because it's just the smartest thing to do, save it. If you know, are going to pull for this next LF that maybe could be a Broly or a Goku, regardless, most likely will be a movie LF. Obviously, if you are an LF or connoisseur for movies, then save it for him or her, whoever it is. I don't know what her could come, but sure, maybe Princess Trunks. But if you don't really care and maybe you want to get somebody up, well, here you go. So we're going to go over who you should use your Legends Limited Z Power on, starting from the newest LF all the way back up. Well, in my categories here, because some of them are out of order, but most of them aren't. So, to look, actually, let me go by acquired, order received, whatever. Order received, alright, so from the top to the bottom, right? Because those are newest to the old, yeah, whatever. So, Frieza. Okay, so it's going to be very niche scenarios per unit, right? Some units, I would say, if they are going from 4 to 6, then do this unit. But if they're going from 2 to 3, then do this unit. So it'll change depending unit per unit. Obviously, that is why this video is even being made, because it's not some simple decision. It's pretty complicated once you actually think about it, at least from my personal experience. So Frieza. Frieza, if you somehow have a 4-star Frieza and you want to get him to 6, use it on him. Frieza is very good. Frieza is not greater than Kid Buu. Frieza is not greater than Gogeta Blue. Broly, maybe. Gogeta, yeah. Zamasu, no. And worse than Gohan. So, Frieza is kind of like in the middle of a pack between the newest LFs and the a little bit aged LFs with, Kid Buu, who hasn't aged at all, really, but aged in since he's come out. It's been a couple months, right? He's alright. I don't recommend him as your number 1 pick, but if you really want to, if you're like trying to force powerful opponent, get him to 6 if you have him at 4. Getting him to 2 to 3 won't really make much of a difference for him particularly. So 4 to 6, yes, he would be a good candidate for anyone that actually wants to force a powerful opponent, or if you have a good LOE stacked team with like Blue Cooler, I don't know, Green Metal Cooler 14 stars. This team could flow very well. It's just that you're very squishy, so take that into account. Frieza's very good, but he's not my number 1 pick here. So to keep going, we have Gohan again, top to bottom, but Frieza was down there because I don't own him. 35k CC, don't own Frieza. It'd be like that. Gohan. Gohan 2 to 3 isn't the biggest difference. I would say even a 2-star Gohan's just fine. Revival Gohan, obviously. You could just keep him at 2 stars. You really don't need to 6-star, 3-star, 4-star, anything higher than 2 stars for this guy. Obviously, it's better because the ability-wise, but the team already has so much support of hybrids and Sun Family and enough carries on it with, name it Goku Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or hybrids has Red Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Goten, you have LF Future Gohan, you have all these other carry units. They really don't need to focus on Revival Gohan. Like, he can do well, but his main draw of even owning him is to be Revival, and that is just to more subdue the opponent from, okay, you're not going to Rising Rush because I had this Revival guy on standby. Especially on movies, because Bojack lowering 5 sub count. This guy is just a threat to their entire existence of Rising Rush. So it's not that he's necessarily the most busted thing ever, it's just that he goes on the most busted teams, which makes him very good, but you don't need to make him look God tier to use him. He can look mediocre and still be very useful just because Revival is such a very, very good mechanic with no counter to it yet, which will come, but not yet. I think actually a Broly would be the first to nullify a Revival type of thing. Or maybe actually a 5th Goku, because Broly's so strong, punches him through his fucking gut, nullifies a Revival, I better be another Sun Family unit, so please no, never mind. Zamasu. Okay, Zamasu wants stars. Zamasu and Gogeta actually want stars. Well, let's talk about them in tandem, because they did come out together, so why not? Zamasu is very squishy, and you want to... I'm trying to think if he's actually worth it. If you have him at 4, get him to 6, right? Same thing with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Honestly, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta needs like 9 stars to look like a pretty good unit, even at 6 here, with me having him there, with all his Zenkai buffs, with his best teams, everything. He doesn't look too great, it's just how it is. But Zamasu at 6 will be a very squishy god, to compare maybe to... He'll be basically a better Gogeta Blue, but doesn't need to necessarily build up as long as Gogeta Blue needs to build up. Zamasu would be just a very good option. I faced off 14-star Zamasus that shit stomp me just because they are so good. They are basically just a upgraded LF Broly, and that's a very good unit. So Zamasu, if you're contemplating between Gogeta or Zamasu, I don't know why you would be unless you're trying to main fusions, I guess. But do Zamasu. 4 to 6, it makes sense. Gogeta, he was not even worth it. You're not going to have enough stars on him already. Unless you got him like 8 stars and you're about to get him to 9 stars. Then sure, I guess. But then at that point, you're just a whale and you really don't need to hear this video. So, Zamasu, 4 to 6. Yes, I would do it. But again, not my first choice. Gogeta, just ignore him. Again, not the same situation as Revival Gohan. It's just that Revival Gohan's a better unit in kit-wise. But Gogeta just needs way too much to look... okay, and that's pretty bad. But to keep going, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Yep. LF Rose. Yeah. Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That silence meant ignore him. He doesn't exist. Okay, cool. You have better yellows on every single team. He doesn't exist. LF Rose. Oh yeah. By the way, that not poll, but that what even do I call it? That post I made on the community page, I guess. That is meant to be for tomorrow's video, so if you guys are wondering, like, why was Dragon Ball Saga today? Well, that was meant to be for tomorrow's video, so it can get more, interaction to see who wants what unit showcased off. It seems like Majin Vegeta is going to be the winner. Someone had Yellow Goku Black, and the funny part about that is I was kind of hoping it didn't win, because my Yellow Goku Black is not Zenkai 7, so Majin Vegeta, right here, actually we're going to talk about him soon, probably going to be the one we're going to showcase, so just in case you guys are wondering. LF Rose, though. He needs to be at 6 to look okay. Is he worth it? No. You have better units on your future teams, on your Saiyan teams, I guess. He's not worth it on God Key. Obviously, you have Vegeta Blue, and then you have UI Goku here. He's not worth it. Personally, I just like the character, so I got him up there. I think I pulled him to like 4 stars. No, actually, I pulled him 6 stars from his initial banner. I just went a little deeper than I should have. Yeah, I went a lot deeper than I should have, actually. But he is not worth it. He's just not that good of a unit. Probably my low end of recommendation, kind of near Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's very not worth it at all. Those 2 units, wow. 2 pretty mediocre LFs came out back to back, huh? That's crazy. Oh, some of these aren't in order, by the way. So, like, you see Majin Vegeta's over there. I pulled Majin Vegeta late. I didn't pull him on his initial banner. Same with the bottom part, because I started during first anniversary. So Super Vegeta is going to be number 1 for me, but obviously Gohan came out before Super Vegeta and Beerus, obviously. So it's just in order of when I pulled them, not of the actual game dropping these units, right? To keep going, Kid Buu. Kid Buu's worth it. Kid Buu is definitely worth it. Kid Buu looks like a monster at 3, and at 6 stars, Kid Buu's a demon. He is the best blue regen unit by 10 miles. Kamikolo doesn't even square up to him. Even Kamikolo against future or Android units does not square up to Kid Buu. Obviously, doing more to Saiyans and regen is very good for Kid Buu, because that's about 80% of the game, I would say. Hybrids not being there, but he is blue, so he is countering out Red Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Kid Buu is an absurd unit who can easily 1v3 any opponent that you go up against, whether it be type advantage for them, or disadvantage, or neutrality. Kid Buu is crazy. I got lucky. Actually, I didn't even post anywhere or like upload it. I did a random multi on this LF Full Power Frieza banner. Just, I don't know, spur of the moment. And I got LF Kid Buu, another copy of him, if you see him at 4 stars there. I did have him originally at 3. I'm very much contemplating using my LFZ power on him right now to get him to 6. But I will probably use it by the end of this video. There's 2 candidates to where I would actually use this, and he is definitely one of them. But to keep going, Future Gohan. Future Gohan, yeah, okay, this is a tricky one, right? Future Gohan is a yes if your Red Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is not 9 stars. Now, let me explain. Red Super Saiyan 2 Gohan will be your backbone tank, everything that isn't disruption, but he will be your damage, tank, and, well, killer, right? And a little bit of support. Future Gohan will be your disruptor. So, your disruptor, you want him to live long, right? Well, you want him to live long if your tank can't live long. So if your LF Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is just 8 stars, well, he doesn't really have that much stat increase. He has a lot. Trust me, he has crazy stat increase. But he's not going to be the tank you want him to be. Like, for example, me here. Mine is 13 stars. So, my Future Gohan doesn't really need to be the god tier tank, because I can swap into Future Gohan, he'll eat the 2 hits or whatever, and I'll swap out to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Then boom, that guy's all built up because he has support from Future Gohan, whoever else I ran, and then Red Super Saiyan 2 in himself being crazy, right? So, if you're in my situation where 3-star Future Gohan, 13-star or high star, at least 11 I would say, or 9-star I guess if you really want to be generous, then no, you don't have to stop your Future Gohan. He's a very good unit, trust me, he's one of the best in the game, even game press rates him at Z, which I personally disagree with. I think he's high S, probably the highest S, but it's more that his utility and his stopping combos is his draw, right? He stops combos, and every time he's hit, he's supporting. And with Gohan, Super Saiyan 2, he's going to look crazy because of that in it itself, not necessarily the unit, who can do okay damage. He'll never impress you with his damage. He'll just look okay, but he's only meant to disrupt, and obviously has the endurance to make Hybrids the greatest team in the game. Woohoo! But yeah, I wouldn't put him above Kid Buu, I guess, if I were deciding who to put first, right? I'd say Kid Buu is number 1 currently, and then second would be debate between Zamasu and Future Gohan. Again, Revival Gohan I don't think needs stars at all. He still has his great utility without having high stars. Majin Vegeta. Majin Vegeta, I would just say don't do. He has been not power crept, he's been replaced. You know, Namek Goku exists. There's just a bunch of blue Saiyans that are better. Vegeta family isn't very good. Saiyans, he's replaced, and that's all he's on, right? Vegeta family and Saiyans. He's not going to be anywhere else. And Vegeta family being dead doesn't help him, so I would just say skip him, don't do him. LF Broly. Now, my LF Broly's at 7, so this is going to be a little bit hard to tackle, but we'll try to tackle it. LF Broly, I would say, if you have Zenkai Bardock, Zenkai 7, and you have at least a 4-star Broly, get the 6. Sure, why not? But if you do not have that circumstance, don't do it. Broly, I've said it a million times, and I will keep saying it, Broly is a very overrated unit. He is very good, for sure. Broly can do everything. He can solo a team, no doubt. He is basically LF Kid Buu, just worse. But the problem is, you're relying on your opponent to make mistakes for him to do that circumstance. Kid Buu does it on his own with his green cards, restoring his Vanish, with his fast Vanish gauge recovery, all that. He can do everything on his own. Broly, you're relying on the opponent to make a mistake for him to look as good as he is. But, with that being said, the counter argument is, on Super Saiyans, he don't have to rely on the mistakes. You're just going to do so much fucking crit damage with Super Vegeta bench, with this new equipment, if you really want to run it. I can't even speak. And people, by the way, I know the equipment's not the greatest thing in the game. It's really good. I know people are also underrating it. It looked very good to me. So if you disagree, that's okay. Just don't come at me because of it. Thank you, appreciate it. But to continue, LF Broly, again, if you have that circumstance where he's about to be 6 stars from, 600 Z power, then sure, go for it. And you have Zenkai 7 Bardock, because he will look like one of the best units in the game with criticals. Just factual, you can't really deny it, it's just how it is. But then you're relying on luck, so it's also just kind of a gamble. Again, I do think there's better options than him. I would say Kid Buu, Future Gohan, and Zamasu are still better options. But if you really want to run a Super Saiyan-based team, then you should do Broly. Gogeta Blue. Now, Gogeta Blue, I've been doing him, so I clearly recommend him, right? Not as high as the others, though. Again, the other 3, I still recommend more. Even, I wouldn't say Revival Gohan, but Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I could say I might recommend more. But to go into Gogeta Blue, the best Yellow God Key unit, obviously him, Vados, Clapku, and or Zenkai 7 Blue Goku, are the best trio in the game. Well, trio in the game. And Gogeta Blue is good. Is he as good as he was when he dropped? No, but obviously it's been a fucking while. It's been a decent amount of months, several months actually. So he's not as good as when he dropped, but he is still a menace. I don't know what they did to him, but when he goes from 3-star to 6-star, he looks like a brand new unit. From my experience, I've been running him a decent bit, just off screen. Ranking up last season, I ran Gogeta quite a bit just because I want to see what he can do. And movies, and this guy on movies is actually a good option, given he loves being on Gogeta. He's a very good unit. I would say the only drawback is he's slow and he's yellow, right? Obviously, you see Red Super Saiyan 2 Gohan there staring menacingly at him. But there is a circumstance, and this happens quite often from my experience, at least. Maybe I'm just lucky, but you get that green card counter with Gogeta Blue, you pop 4 strikes, and let's say it's been 25 timer counts, you pop that main ability, boom, you have either Revival Gohan's first life gone, or let's say you pop that green card and landed on Future Gohan, you do 4 strikes, pop that main ability, nullifying their endurance with that ultimate, you're done. Well, actually, his cards nullify endurance when you pop the main ability, I believe, actually. But, nonetheless, there is that circumstance that does exist. He does have one of the best green cards in the game, just one of the hardest green cards in the game is all, and with a more blast-based centric meta of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, LF Gohan, Namek Goku, it's even harder than it usually would be. But he is very high up on my recommended compared to some others here, like Majin Vegeta, like Rose. I would say if you are a God Key main, 6-star him. But if you don't main God Key and you don't own Vados, no. He looks best with Vados, so you need to run him with Vados. On movies, he won't look that great unless your whole entire squad looks great. Like I have a 10-star Bojack, a 6-star Revival Gohan, 6-star Gogeta Blue, 14-star Zenkai 7 Green Broly, and whoever else. That whole squad looks great. You don't know who I'm bringing. But if you make it pretty obvious you're bringing Gogeta Blue, well, people are going to counter him out, and he's going to be useless in that match. They don't bring a purple, he really won't have that much effectiveness. He will be your sack-off unit at some points. But if you have everyone else high stars, people bring, oh, is he bringing Revival Gohan at 6 stars? Or Gogeta Blue at 6 stars? Then people usually don't actually bring a red, because they'll see, I don't know, 6-star Goku. They'll be like, oh shit, he's going to fuck me up, right? You get me? So unless you have that circumstance, only on Gogeta, 6-star him. UI Goku. Now UI Goku, no. No, he's replaced. Same situation as Majin Vegeta. Sorry, I know a lot of people like UI Goku. I know a lot of people think he is very underrated, which, to a degree, I mean, depends the player, if he could be seen as good or bad. But he's just not worth it. You have Super Saiyan 4 Goku Zenkai 7, Super Saiyan 3 Goku Zenkai 7, Gogeta, you have Purple Vegeta Blue, who I could argue at this point, from using Gogeta a lot, my 6-star Purple Vegeta Blue is better than my 8-star UI Goku. Just factual, overall, utility, kit, usage-wise, Vegeta Blue is just a better unit than UI Goku, from my experience, and I play a decent bit of this game, so yeah, Gogeta, he's not even a staple there, and honestly, you don't need to run a purple on Gogeta, because you have that trio of Clap Goku, Revival Goku, whatever you want to call him, Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as the alternative, and then Vados and Gogeta Blue. You don't need a purple on that team. You don't even need a red on that team. Just not a team, that's not it. You just have that trio, you'd be set. So UI Goku doesn't fit on Gogeta to me. Sun Family, again, you have the other 2 purples that I mentioned. Same thing for Saiyans, and he doesn't go anywhere else. Once maybe Universe Survival Saga starts getting more buffs, he can go there, but for now, he is not the unit you want to use and use Z-Power on. Vegeta Blue. No. We're getting to the point where we're going to the older units, right? So I'm just going to keep saying no. Vegeta Blue, he's replaced. That's it. Simple. LF Frieza. LF Frieza is a little tricky because Zenkais will exist for this man. LF Frieza is actually pretty good still. I know people will kind of clown that, but he is not terrible. He does support well, he does hold a blue card, and his green card is very good for lowering sub count if you do land it. And his quick animation with the blue and green card. He's a good support, but LOE is a dead tag, and a powerful opponent needs a better support than that to actually look amazing. So I would say skip him, but he's probably one of the non-Zenkai LFs that are old, like over a year old, that I could actually see you guys pumping Z-Power into. Now, we're going to skip the LF Zenkais for a little bit here because those are a different discussion, I feel like. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Vegeta family's dead. You have Vados on God Key, and that's it. No. Super Vegito as the last one. Do I really have to say it? No. You have Vegeta Blue, the new one, the purple one from 3rd anniversary, and where else does he go, right? Saiyans, you got all these purple Zenkais, just no. Now, talk about the LF Zenkai. So let's go from Gohan up. So, Gohan. Obviously, I'm going to disclaimer this. If you were going to get a LF Zenkai unit from 6 to 7, this is the order you need to do it in. Gohan first, Super Saiyan 3 Goku second, Namek Goku third. Discrepancy-wise, I would say it's up to you for fourth. I could say Goten because he's more Sun Family based, with the other 3 LF Zenkais being Sun Family. But if you are a Regen main, do him fourth. Obviously, if you're a Regen main, do Piccolo first, and then Beerus. Don't even do him if you really don't care about God Key and Zenkai buffs for Vados, because you will not use him in battle in 99% of the time. So, to go in order from who you should do first to last, if you are a typical player that doesn't really know and is trying to decide, like let's say you have, I don't know, let's say you have Gohan, Goten, and Piccolo all at 6 stars and you can get one of them to 7. Here's why you should get Gohan first. Gohan's the best unit in the game. Gohan is one of the best units in the game. There's no disputing that. He is a top 5, if not top 3, if not number 1 in it of himself. He has no real downfalls besides, I guess he doesn't go neutral quick enough. Which, that's even discrepancy because he could just have someone die and then boom, he's God. Gohan's one of the best units in the game. That's why. That's it. There's no real argument. Sun Family's one of the best teams. Gohan's one of the best units. It flows very well together. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I chose him over Namek Goku just because neutrality. Going neutral is one of the best things in the game. It will never be bad. You look at units nowadays like, let's say Champa, he goes neutral. I don't even know other units that go neutral. Or units that nullify attribute upgrades. Essentially makes them go neutral for some circumstance. Let's say Kid Buu, who cancels all your buffs on his main ability. Well, if you have a defense unit like, I don't know, who's a good green defense unit? I want to say Android 16, but like you're not going to rise him. Let's just say Super Saiyan 3 Goku. If you cancel all his buffs, Kid Buu will actually do decent damage to him. Essentially like he's neutral. It's not obviously the same thing, but it's close enough in circumstance. But Super Saiyan 3 Goku having his own actual neutrality, you can't really downplay that, right? Like, that's one of the best things in the game. He has his green card that counters at long range because balance, you know, balance is fun. And then you have, obviously, his nuke of an ultimate, which every time an enemy switches out, he will get buffer and buffer and buffer with his card draw speed after timer counts have elapsed. He's a very good tank, very good damage dealer. Overall, one of the best units in the game with Gohan. Now, Namek Goku is a skill-based character. You can be really shit with Namek Goku. You could be pretty average, like most people, where you use his base form like a normal unit. And then his Super Saiyan form you use kind of like you're 50-50 on it. Or you could be a god and make him look like a top 5 unit in the game. Now, most people will probably have this guy look like a normal unit just because he's not that crazy. He can look crazy if you are good enough, but that takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, and if you were just getting him to Zenkai now, obviously you don't have that practice built up yet. He's a good unit. Obviously, he is Sun Family, with the rest of the team so far being Sun Family based for LF Zenkais. There's no negative to Zenkaiing him over these other 3 options behind him. He's just the better one of the 3. So I wouldn't say he's necessarily great, but he is the better one of these 3 options right next to him. So continue looking at Goten. So Goten over Piccolo, again, I only said this because Sun Family obviously has the other 3 LF Zenkais, Goten being part of that, and being a different color, is just better priority, right? If you're thinking logically, who should prioritize? The same tag so you can get a buffer, you know, 1 base team, or just a random regen unit that you're not going to have, you know, maybe Zenkais for to support him. So Goten only wins because of that. He's not the greatest. He probably is in Piccolo's category of the least broken Zenkai LF to come out recently. Obviously, you had Super Saiyan 2 Goku before this, who was one of the best units in the game, and still is. Then you had Piccolo, who came out as like an okay LF Zenkai. No one really was like, holy shit about him. given he is underrated, but Goten's in a similar boat where he's not necessarily underrated, it's just that you have a better option for Revival Gohan to, actually be your unit to use over Goten. But being Sun Family, being purple, and if you don't own Revival Gohan, pop this guy up, get this guy to 7 stars, and Zenkai 7 him. LF Piccolo. You're just going to do him because he's better than Beerus, right? If you want to run regen, a blast-based regen with Blue 21, Kid Buu, DKP, any of those units, Red Cell, Green 21, get this guy up. You want to run regen, get this guy up. And then Beerus, if you want a Zenkai buff of autos, sure. If you want that double defense Z ability, even though he gets that when he's not Zenkai, sure. You're not going to run him. He's just a Zenkai buffer to Green God Key units. Now, to look at who I am going to do, Kid Buu. Whoop, I meant to click him. Kid Buu. I very much adore Regen. Regen was one of my first tags in the game because I remember running Green Buuhan when the first anniversary dropped, and I loved his barrier. I loved the unit. I think I ran him with, Yellow Cell and Lord Slug was the meta? So, obviously I'm going to show respect to Regen. Man, I am getting up in some stars on my LFs. My Gogeta Blue was at 2 stars not too long ago, and now I am at 6-star Gogeta Blue, 6-star Kid Buu. Jesus. Zamasu got fucked, huh? Yeah, I didn't really care about Zamasu personally. I thought Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta would be better because he's more hype, but here we are. Wow, I have nobody that's that low. Future Gohan. But Future Gohan I don't really care too much about. Super Saiyan 4 Goku I don't care about, so I don't care. Yeah, not bad. Holy shit, I spent a lot of money. I don't own Frieza, but it'd be like that. Let me know what you guys think of this categorization. Hopefully this was helpful. Who you should Z-power up because of this Limit Break banner. Obviously summon on that banner. If, again, you don't care about any single one of these LFs, save it for the next LF you care about. If you care about a girl LF and we eventually get one, save it for that. Given by that time we'll probably have another one that's out, but save it for that. That Limit Break banner is probably going to be a monthly thing at this point because monthly LFs, monthly Limit Break, get them up in stars, spend CC, you buy more sales, it all wins out for Bandai. Again, let me know what you guys think, if this was helpful or not, accurate, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.